Good day, grade 9 students. Our lesson for today is finding the quadratic function given the table of values. Okay, let's start. So before we start, let's recall how do we know that the table of values represents quadratic function. So we should identify whether the table is a quadratic function or not. So if this is your table, we have x is 0, y is negative 3, x is 1, y is negative 8, x is 2, y is negative 11, x is 3, y is negative 12, and x is 4, y is negative 11. So in this table of values, is this a quadratic function or not? So let's recall, how do we know? So we use the second difference method. So first, you you should know that the values of your x should be consecutive. So we have here 0, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. So they are consecutive numbers. Okay? It can be negative as long as consecutive numbers. So here, your y, you will get the second difference. So let's get the first difference. So what's the difference of right minus left? So our right is negative 8 minus left negative 3. So negative 8 minus negative 3. Then this becomes negative 8 plus 3 because negative times negative. Okay? So this is plus 3, therefore it's negative 5. Okay, for the second one, negative 11 minus negative 8. So negative 11 minus negative 8. So this becomes plus 8. Negative times negative, so positive 8. So this is plus 8. Negative 11 plus 8. So this is negative 3. Different signs. Okay, for the third one, we have negative 12 minus negative 11. So negative 12 minus negative 11. So this becomes plus 11. So negative 12 plus 11, so it's negative 1. Okay, for the fourth one, negative 11 minus negative 12. So negative 11 minus negative 12, this becomes plus 12. So negative 11 plus 12. So this different signs subtract, copy the sign of the positive. So this is positive 1. Okay, so this is what we call the first difference. Okay, so we will now get, if we found out that the first difference are not the same, therefore we will proceed to the second difference. If they are the same, therefore the table is not a quadratic function. Okay? So since they are different numbers, therefore we will proceed to second difference. Okay, so ito naman, ima-minus natin to, right minus left. Okay, so negative 3 minus negative 5. So this becomes negative times negative, positive 5. So negative 3 plus positive 5, it's positive 2. Okay, next one, negative 3 minus, negative 1 minus negative 3. So negative 1 minus negative 3, so this becomes plus 3. So this is negative 1 plus 3, it's positive 2. Okay, then for the third one, you have 1 minus negative 1. So 1 minus negative 1, so this is plus 1. So 1 plus 1, it's 2. Okay, so this is now our second difference. Since they are equal, they are all 2. They are equal. Therefore, the table of values represents quadratic function. So if this is a quadratic function, how can we find the equation of quadratic function? So then what is the equation of quadratic function? Ano daw yung equation of quadratic function nitong table na to? Okay, so that's our lesson for today, finding the equation given the table. Okay. So this is the table. We need to know what is the equation of the quadratic function of this table. We already proved that this table is a quadratic function. So what is the quadratic function? The equation of the quadratic function. So we will use points. So this is a point 0, -3, another point 1, -8, and another point 2, -11. It's up to you which point do you will use, as long as uh, it should be in the table. Okay? So, first point, 0, -3. So, I will use this point, 0, comma, -3. And then, from the general form of the quadratic function, y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, I will substitute this -3 to your y and 0 to your x because this is x comma y. So your x is 0, your y is -3. Okay, substitute that. It becomes -3 equals a 0 squared plus b times 0 plus c. So this 0 squared is still 0 times a, 0. Still 0 pa rin to. Ito rin 0. So ang matitira, kung 0 itong a tsaka b mo, c na lang ang matitira. So meron na tayong letter c. So our letter c is -3 from this quadratic function. So kailangan malaman natin yung c, a, at b. So, alam na natin yung letter C. Ang kailangan na lang natin, letter A at letter B. Okay, so gamit ulit tayo ng isa pang point, this 1, -8. So, 1, comma, -8. Then, from the general form of quadratic function, isa-substitute natin tong 1 sa x at -8 sa y. Okay, so that will be -8 is equal to a quantity 1 squared plus b times 1 minus 3. So, ito lang, sinubstitute lang natin to. Ito yung x, pinalitan natin yung x ng 1, pinalitan natin ng -8 yung y. Ayan na po siya. So, what is this a1 squared? It's still a. Because 1 times 1, it's 1 times a pa rin. So, b times 1, it's still b. Okay, so ito po lalabas dyan. -8 is equal to 1 plus b minus 3. Okay. Adding 3 both sides to eliminate this minus 3. Because you need one constant only. Okay? So you have here two constant term. So we need to add 3 both sides. So adding 3 both sides, it becomes a plus b. So wala na to. Then if you add -8 plus 3 here, it becomes -5. Okay, so we added plus 3 here, then plus 3 here. Okay, so this is now our equation 1. We will use another point, 2 and -11. So this is x to y -11. So we will use again the general form of quadratic function. Y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. Then substitute -11 for your y and 2 for your x. So it's -11 is equal to a quantity 2 squared plus b quantity 2 or times 2 minus 3. So what is 2 squared? It's 4 times a. So this is 4a plus this is 2b. So it becomes -11 equals 4a plus 2b minus 3. So we need to add 3 both sides. So add 3 both sides to eliminate this -3. So it becomes -8 is equal to 4a plus 2b. So plus 3 here and plus 3 here. So this is 0 and this is -8 only if you add 3 here. And negative 11 plus 3 is negative 8. Okay, so we have now two equations. So we will use elimination method to solve for A and B here. In your linear, solving linear equations when you were grade 7, I think, or grade 8. Let's say grade 8. Okay, so how do we use elimination method? So we rewrite the first equation, negative 5 is equal to A plus B, and the second equation, negative 8 is equal to 4A plus 2B. Okay, so elimination, you should have same terms but different signs. So dito makikita nyo, positive 2B dito. So dapat ito negative 2B para ma-eliminate siya. Kasi positive 2B tsaka negative 2B, 0 na yon. So kailangan natin dito ng negative 2B. So i-multiply natin tong buong equation na to ng negative 2. Ayan, so negative 2 times negative 5 is equal to A plus B para mag-come up tayo ng negative 2. Pwede ring negative 4 kung ito ang gusto mong eliminate, positive 4A. Pwede ring negative 4 dito. Eh since ang gusto kong eliminate yung B, okay, kaya negative 2 ang kailangan ko para magkaroon ako dito ng negative 2B. So magiging ganito na siya. Positive 10, saan nakuha to? Negative 2 times negative 5, positive 10. Negative 2 times A, negative 2A. Negative 2 times positive B, negative 2B. Ayun, so meron na akong negative 2B dito. Okay, kopyahin natin to, yung second equation, para mag-elimination na. So, yan po, yung positive 2B tsaka negative 2B, eliminated na po yan. Okay, then let's add. Let's add 4A tsaka negative 2A, different signs. Subtract, so it is 2A. Ito po yun. Then, positive 10 tsaka negative 8, subtract positive 2. Okay, so then divide both sides by 2, here and here. So, our A is 1. Nag-divide lang tayo ng 2 both sides. So, meron na tayong A, meron na tayong C sa ABC natin. Kailangan kasi natin mahanap yung ABC. Okay, ano na lang ang nawawala? B na lang ang nawawala. So, pwede nyong i-substitute dito yung A nyo or dito sa equation na yan. So, dito ko isa-substitute yung A na 1. Okay, so ito na yon. Negative 5 equals 1. Saan ang galing tong 1? Sa A. Yun yung A natin, 1. Ito, ginamit ko to Negative 5 equals A plus B. Pinalitan ko yung letter A ng 1. Okay, so negative 5 equals 1 plus B. Then, subtract 1 both sides. Or add negative 1 both sides. Okay, so negative 1, negative 1. So, this is now 0. And this is same sign. So, this is negative 6. Add, copy the sign. So, our B is negative 6. Okay, so after finding the letters A, B, C, nakuha na natin, ipapalit na natin dito sa general form ng quadratic function. So, y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. Ang a natin 1, ang b negative 6, ang c negative 3. So, ito na siya. Yung 1 dyan, pwedeng wala na. Pero pinakita ko lang to emphasize that we substituted a, b, c. Para makita nyo lang na pinalitan natin yung a, b, c dyan. So, y is equal to 1x squared or simply x squared minus 6x minus 3. Okay, so we come up with the quadratic function out of this table. Okay, so you can use this point, this, and this point. It's up to you. Same answer. You will come up with the same answer. But, I suggest, yung mas maliit na value ang gamitin nyo sa x. So, syempre, ito yon 0, 1, 2. Okay. Mas convenient gamitin yung maliit na value na x. Okay? So, that's all. That ends our lesson for today. And I hope you understand this lesson. Watch the video and again and again for you to understand. If medyo malabo pa, ulit-ulitin lang. So, that's all. Goodbye, class.